I'm gonna propose a solution that's good for both sides. Okay, here's the full plan. Wait, what? No discs, no buy. The only swing Sony is doing is swinging to rob you blind and then sell it back to you. I mean, look guys, regarding the whole situation of digital media, buying and selling the same video games, how long has FIFA been going on, you know? How long have FIFA been going on? Like since Sony started, right? People have been buying that game forever. They literally buy the exact same game every year. Like my personal friends, I have one friend who's addicted to this game, you know. Every year he goes and buys the same game, and then he buys the Game Pass or whatever that's inside that game, you know, that lets you basically get new players, and you need to reacquire the same players that you acquired in the previous game. Yeah, so you don't keep your the players that you acquired. Do you actually realize that? So you have to go back and reclaim those players by subscribing to the game that you bought, you know. Yeah, so not only you're buying the game, then you're buying also packages inside the game, okay? And then after you buy the packages, you start playing the game, yeah, so they get like your player retention time, and then acquire back the same players that you had previously. So this has been going on for how long? 10 years minimum, 20 years maybe, around 20 years, yeah, around 15-20 years, right? Yeah, 2016 was 10 years ago. Okay, so probably like around like 18 years maybe, since 2008, I guess. So people have been going through that. PlayStation players, okay, and the majority of PlayStation players are FIFA players, by the way. So you have to keep that in mind. So the same trick has been basically, you know, working on the same people for like 18 years. Now they're just expanding it to other video games. They were like, okay, FIFA, people are already playing FIFA. They're already repurchasing the game literally every year. The same game, the exact same game. Like nothing changed, you know. You just have some players like that moved from one team to another. Some players adjusted in their speed or whatever, right? Nothing new added to the game. Even the graphics isn't that good anymore. I feel like they're even degrading the graphics every year. People keep buying these games, you know. So PlayStation, Sony was like, you know what? Let's do that to the other games, you know. I guess FIFA players play other games, you know. Maybe that's their target audience, you know. Because they have the other thing too, which basically lets them know whether you have the tendency to buy a game once it has a discount or buy it in full price. So they would look into that too. So they've already told you that we are looking into your finances and how you handle your money. Since you can't actually handle your money, let us help you with it. You know, since you're already like paying for this, maybe you can pay for other stuff too. You know, I guess they're doing the same thing here, and I'm sure that the tendency or the likelihood of the players of FIFA being the same players for GTA V is highly likely, right? It is highly likely. So that's why I'm guessing like that they're doing what they're doing. So lately I've seen that they said while this whole GTA VI thing going on for about the leaks and whatnot, I saw that Sony said that they're no longer allowing you to play their games on other platforms or some shit like that. I don't know. No disc, no buy. No PS6, no buy. I mean, it is funny, you know. It is funny to some degree. I'm not saying that the movement is bad, but it's a valid thing. It's a valid thing. But it's, you know, also if you think about it from like a business standpoint, like people aren't buying video games anymore. This hasn't been going. I mean, disc games anymore. This hasn't been going just only recently. You know, it's been going for a while. More specifically, since the COVID thing happened, 2021. Around 2021 and 2022, right? Yeah, we also like saw the GameStop thing also happening, so which caused the whole short squeeze thing. I don't know if you guys remember that, the GameStop short squeeze when they screwed what was his name? I forgot the guy's name, but some guy, like, he screwed up the big hedge funds just because they predicted that people are not gonna buy physical media and physical games anymore, so they started shorting GameStop, right? And then he came along, other gamers and like Redditors, and they were like, you know what? No, we're not going to do that, and GameStop shall live. GameStop live it did, and it came back up, and all the hedge funds got screwed up basically by that. And they lost like millions or billions of dollars, you know. And so this has been going on for practically like 5 years now. It makes sense, like the situation, like the whole analysis of the hedge funds was correct then, specifically since the COVID was happening to people who were not going out anymore, so people got more used to buying video games online instead of actually going out to buy the discs. And most gamers now are PC gamers. I would say that they're, I don't know if they're the majority, to be honest. Maybe PlayStation is very popular too. But it's kind of like everyone has a PC now, and yeah, a lot of people just play video games on PC because most of the games are designed for, I would say, for PC, and it's easier to design games for PC because it's more versatile when it comes to controls and such. You'd have to upgrade the games, especially for FIFA players. Every year you'd have to get the new FIFA, right, in order to keep playing with the other players. Besides that, I don't know, like for other games, we only need one rule. We don't need physical discs. I don't think we're aiming for the right approach here. We don't need physical discs. What we actually need is laws that enforce companies to have an end-of-life plan for video games once they stop supporting the games, so that players can keep playing their games that they bought, right? So we just need to have laws for that. That's what we're trying to achieve. I guess that's the better goal. And this started from PC, mostly because some of the video games were discontinued by some companies like Forza Horizon, for example. And some people cannot access these games anymore. Now people are thinking, should I pirate the game now or what? I bought the game with money. Why isn't it on my account anymore, right? And I get it, like it makes sense. It's frustrating to some people, but you'd have in the agreements when you first signed up to buy the game, in the agreement, in the privacy policy, you'd have this game can be discontinued by such and such company once they don't have the resources to sustain it anymore, right? To be honest, this is fucked up, to do to people who bought the game. I'm gonna propose a solution that's good for both sides. Okay, here's the full plan. 3 types of games: multiplayer games, online games who are single player games, and single player games. Okay, so for single player games, it's straightforward, right? With no online content, it's straightforward. You just give the save files to the players, and they can just continue playing the game however they like. I think that's already the case for single player games. I think this only goes for multiplayer games and online games. So for online games, some games are single player, but they're only online because they contain some microtransactions, right, for skins inside the game, etc. Right? What we would do is maybe remove the purchasable assets from the game and the microtransaction aspect of the game, and have a plan for the game to be released without these microtransactions inside of it. Once the lifespan of that game, let's say, has ran out, it would automatically remove the ability to buy or purchase things inside the game, and that wouldn't take from the player, since the player didn't actually buy these things and doesn't want to buy these things. He didn't buy any of them, so the company clearly has the right to pull them back, or remove them from the game, since the player clearly doesn't own them, right? You can't, and we can't say that the player owns the right to buy them. Maybe he owns the right to let's not overcomplicate it. Let's say just companies can just pull these things out of their games once the game end of life plan has took place, basically, or is activated. And lastly, for multiplayer games, we would have these games released or published, okay, inside one of the stores, published fully with the servers, basically. Inside one of the stores, let's say Steam store, for example, they would have a certain section for discontinued game, and then players can come and support the games if they wanted to, basically, right? So someone would come and try to support the game, and they can just continue the game. You can continue playing the game as long as you can support it yourself, basically. So some games would require big servers, some games wouldn't really require big servers, etc., right? But they would have some sort of a plan or a mechanism where they could let players take things into their own hands, basically, to continue the game. And I think that's extremely doable now with the AI that we have. It's becoming easier for people to do these things. So that's it's simple as that. And keep games be digital. We don't need discs. We don't need purchasable games, physical copies of the games. I don't think that's the solution. I think the solution is to continue having digital games. That is better for both, for players and for the companies. What if they cancel digital games? Now what? you'd have to buy games that hasn't released in certain countries. For example, let's say you live in like Guatemala, right? Or you live in somewhere in Africa and you want to buy a specific game, right? Now what? The game only released in one place in the world, which is the Japan, for example. For you to bring that game from Japan, it would cost you a lot of money. Once your money situation is already bad, you know, especially in places like Brazil and Argentina, right? Having games online, having games be digital, actually helped these countries a lot. And made the games more accessible to these people specifically. So I don't think having a physical copy of video games is a good thing generally. It's just a bad thing to have games discontinued or not have rights for games to be continued after the company decides to stop supporting the game, right? Or once the company doesn't have the resources to support the game, or once the game is no longer profitable to them, right? And so yeah, I think that's the solution, is to basically impose laws that would force these companies to apply these rules that I just mentioned or these mechanisms for their video games before they publish them, you know. And it's not going to take them much, you know. Now they don't really have an excuse to say, oh, we don't have the technology. We clearly have the technology, you know. So I don't think technology is an issue anymore. I feel this is a valid solution for both, you know. I feel like both parties would be happy. Companies would make more money. And they wouldn't have to spend money on on physical copies anymore. Players would continue playing the games. They wouldn't try to pirate the games anymore. They would keep playing the games from the publisher themselves, and everyone's gonna be happy. You know, I don't like. I feel like this is a perfectly sound solution. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about this? It's valid. Just like I said, right? See, like okay, W's. Yeah, so like everyone is agreeing with that, right? Okay, so that makes sense. I'm not crazy, right? Okay.